name is Maura Rury, and I am the Americas Regional Marketing Manager for our elemental analysis products. The U.S. Pharmacopoeia is changing the way that elemental analysis impurities are determined in drug-related products, and it's a major overhaul to the way that it's currently done. A lot of laboratories are currently doing wet bench chemistry, and they now have to completely overhaul the way they do that, and it's going to involve formal instrumentation. We here provide the total workflow solution. So we have the ability to provide for them an expert of panels who can talk to them about what their challenges are, where the gaps are, where they need more training, where they need for hardware, and we can provide for them everything from A to Z. So all their questions answered and all of the hardware solutions provided, and all within the 21 CFR compliance that they need to meet the requirements of the new guidelines. So a lot of customers do have a question about which analysis technique is right for them. There are a lot of different techniques out there that technically are suitable. And I think what you're going to find is it's going to come down to either ICP optical emission or it's going to come down to ICP-MS spec. So there really is not as much of a daunting choice as people might think there is. The sensitivity of a mass spectrometer is quite a bit lower than that of an optical emission spectrometer, and so they really need to look at how low they need to be measuring to meet the requirements of their application. A huge benefit to the Thermo Fisher Scientific products is that they all operate off of the same Qtegra software platform, and it's fully 21 CFR compliant. So that's going to get customers into a compliant environment with very little effort and very little training. With the Qtegra version for our ICP-MS spec, we actually have 7 preloaded method templates that are fully compliant with what the USP requires for data reporting. So they get a software package that is ready to go. It's a software package that creates data and reports that is fully compliant with 21 CFR, and they didn't have to do anything other than operate it. The instrument portion is really a small part of what keeps them up at night. And from a vendor perspective, that's actually great because we've put a lot of time, effort, and resource into creating instrumentation that really is turnkey, that goes into their laboratories, that has software and hardware that's compliant and that's easy to use. And that's what we want. We want to be the most painless part in that entire process. And in everything that I've heard and everyone that I've talked to, we really are. But we're more than that. We're more than just an instrument company. We're a panel of experts who can talk to them and provide for them everything else that they need, from sample prep to data reporting to compliance checking, and we can provide that for them. Quantifying elemental impurities is so important in drug-related products, and it's really not just the final drug product. You have to consider that there are starting materials that go into that process. You have to consider that there are excipients. You have to consider that there are surfactants, there are catalysts, there are active pharmaceutical ingredients. There are a lot of things that go into making a final drug product what it is that the consumer sees. And there's any step along that process where contamination could occur. And we really want to be able to flag that before an entire batch of a particular drug product has been produced. So elemental impurity analysis is actually important in all stages of the production of biopharmaceutical products, not just the final product that people end up with. If we look 5 years into the future, elemental analysis, I think, will become a bit more challenging. As we've seen with the environmental regulations, we learn more about what the elements are that are toxic to humans in our water, in our air, in our soil, and we need those limits to become lower. So the same will become true of our drug-related products. So I think what we're going to see is that the limits are going to get lower, and we're going to need more sensitive technology, and we're going to need better interference removal tools. And that's where maybe a single quadruple ICP-MS will not have the sensitivity and the interference removal power that we need. And maybe we'll need something a little bit stronger than that. So we will be there as a company because we are on the innovation cusp of elemental analysis, as we always have been. And we will continue to be there to meet the needs of the pharma industry. It's going to sound nerdy, but it's a love of science. I know that sounds nerdy, but that's what drives me to come to work every day. You know, I love opportunities to engage with people. I love opportunities to educate people. I come to trade shows and I talk to customers who have a particular background that happens to link right up with mine, and I watch as their face lights up because I can talk to detail about the experiments they're doing in their lab, and half the people at this conference can't. I really like talking science. I like doing science. I like making other scientists' lives more productive. And it's really motivating. It's amazing what we can measure now that we couldn't 5 years ago. It's amazing what those results tell us and what we can extrapolate from them that we couldn't 5 years ago. So I just like being a part of that.